Hey guys, welcome back. A lot has happened since the last time. I have now got a new DCDC charger. Thank you iTech World for the replacement. I sent that away within 3 days. They had actually come back and said that there was a minor fault, new one straight away. So within a week, I'm in New South Wales, they're in Perth. Within a week, I had a new one. So fantastic. Thank you to iTech World for that. I have also bought a new inverter. The 2000 watt inverter that I had through iTech World, we originally wanted to hardwire it into the van so all our power points could run from the batteries. We found out afterwards that unfortunately I didn't read the instructions properly and that 2000 watt inverter didn't have that capability. So while I was looking into other inverters to get, I jumped on the iTech World website to look at their 3000 watt inverter, and I actually found that they've just released a new range of inverters that have auto transfer switches, which change between if you're plugged in the 240 volt, and of course you don't want your batteries to be draining when you're running from your 240. So auto transfer switch will automatically cut to change to the 240 volt if that is an option. As soon as that 240 gets unplugged, it will kick in and you'll start using your battery power. Also has built-in RCD for protection. So I changed straight away I ordered a 3000 watt inverter, one of the new ones with that ATS and RCD built in. So fingers crossed that arrives tomorrow. Today's Sunday. I'm really hoping it arrives tomorrow. I'm keen to put that in when I show you guys what I've actually done to the 12 volt underbed section of the van. You'll see I've got some plans of where I'm going to put it. I've tidied it up quite a lot. When you saw it last time, massive mess. So today I'm going to take you through me rewiring underneath the bed. I've already done a bit, but I want to take you guys through what I'm doing, why I've done it and how I've done it. If you do have any suggestions for things to change, please drop a comment down below. I'd be more than happy to take on your suggestions. I am by no means an expert at this. This is just something I do enjoy doing, but I'm more than willing to learn. So let's get to it. Now this here is 2 AG cable, 35mm square cable. This is an absolute to strip, to crimp, to do anything with. So just a heads up, make sure you got some decent gear. I do have, I don't know where I put it. I do have some wire strippers here. That have been absolutely incredible. They're just, where's the camera? They're at Amazon Basics. I'll drop a link down below for these. Look, for a lot of the solar panel stuff, these are incredible. Your 8WGs, I'd say is probably the max. And you only want single, any dual, triple cable for 240. This isn't really going to work, but for the 12 volt, 8 WG and less, these are amazing and cheap. They're an absolute lifesaver. But for this hefty stuff, yeah, no good. So what I've been doing so far is the trusty Kings. See, I like to do certain things on a budget. Just go round and round and round until, so first of all, mark out the spot, then just back and forwards, just slowly cut away. There is so much insulation on these cables that you don't really have to worry about going gentle. I think that was my main problem to start with. I went really gentle with it and I wasn't getting anywhere for enough. You really have to push down on this cable. Once you start to cut through, give it a bit of wiggle, and then So twist it around, give it a twist. And then make sure you do get the correct size. This is a 35mm square lug with a 10mm hole. It's going to go on the battery terminal, so make sure you get the right size, otherwise it's got no chance of fitting, as I found out. So the other bit that's annoying with this, you can probably obviously tell, your normal crimper is not going to work on this. So I do have, believe it or not, Amazon crimper. I'll leave a link down below for that as well. That ain't going to work on this. So what I've been doing actually is I've got a flathead screwdriver and a hammer. Just give it a few good solid hits on top here, flattens out. It does actually a surprisingly good crimp. Give it a bit of a tug to make sure it's not going to come loose, and then of course heat shrink over the top for added protection. These cables here, as long as they've got a pretty firm, they've only got a good connection. I've already done this one here. It's not coming off. This cable is not designed to be moved around, taken on and off all the time, so it's not one I'm too worried about having an absolute perfect crimp on it. Some of the other cables that are designed to be taken on and off, I do want to have a much stronger, more secure crimp. In saying that, it's still a good crimp. And I looked at the crimpers today when I think I was at Jayco, and it was bloody expensive for a heavy duty crimper. So the hammer and screwdriver trick is what I'm doing. So you can see there, just done that with the hammer and screwdriver, and focus would be good. And yeah, it's a good firm connection. So with that, some heat shrink over the top. In my particular case, it's nothing really that's going to make too much of a difference. It's going to be good enough for what I'm doing, but if it is a connection that you think is going to be moved or been under any strain, it's really one that you probably should look into making a proper crimp. You can buy different types of crimp for these heavy duty. You can buy different tools to crimp for these heavy duty cables. For my purpose, I didn't need them. So just something to keep in mind when you're going to do this. So on the front here, I've got a battery isolator, so I can turn the battery on and off from that point on. So the battery's behind there, runs through, I can cut it off there. So that in turn feeds this positive bus bar, where I've got a 12 volt fuse panel coming off here. I have the that's the 240 volt charger, solar input. What else do I have going on here? There's more coming. So I've got solar, charger, and I'm not. Oh, that's the other electrics in the van. That goes back to the transfer box underneath the fridge to power all the 12 volt appliances in the van. So coming under this, I have all my other just small connections that require a positive. I've got a circuit breaker here. This is for the solar. So we'll come into the iTac world, back up through a fuse and back to the batteries. All the negatives connections come down here. We'll eventually drill a hole out. There's a hole here. I might put another one over here just to make things a little bit easier. And this then, of course, comes up here, connects to this monitor. This feeds the iTac World battery monitor, which I've got installed up there so I can keep an eye on the batteries. Voltages, as you may be aware, is not an accurate way to keep track of lithium batteries. So having one of these smart monitors, they keep track of all the amps in and out. So you tell it how many amps you got, and it keeps track of how much you've used, and then can tell you, of course, how much you should or do have left. So I've got a 200 amp fuse, got my two batteries here, got my 240 volt charger here, which is connected up to that power point there. That's my solar. The red Anderson plug there is from the car DCDC, and that's my breakaway. definitely think this is a much neater setup than what I had, and it does mean I get to use a lot more of this area before those cables all going through here. I'm even thinking about putting another piece of ply probably across here just to protect this a little bit, so any of the canvas awnings or anything that we have going here just don't knock things off. So last episode I told you guys that I would take you through neatening this up and redoing the 12 volt in this van. That's why I'm holding my phone right now. It's not on a stand, pretty squished down here. I have just finished mostly putting this together, and I thought I'd just give you guys a quick run through of what I've done, why I've done it, and what's changed since last time. So, I might try and zoom that back a bit. There we go. So, what I've done is I've just got this 7mm ply that I've installed across this way, just to make things a little bit easier to get to. Last time there was all stuff jammed across the walls under here, really hard to get to under the lips and stuff, so I decided to put this wall here. I'm umming and ahhing about putting another piece here to kind of protect it, but we'll wait and see. So I've turned the batteries this way, connect them in parallel just like last time, so I have two 120s, so I have 240 amps of lithium power. First thing, I've got two gauge cables here. They were an absolute pain in the backside to crimp, to cut, even to strip back. So if you're going to get, if you're going to do this and you want to use decent cables, they are an absolute pain. So try and measure them if you can to the right size beforehand, so you don't have to go through that. So anyway, connect these up. As you can see, the negative is not connected yet. That's the last thing I've got to do. This I'll neaten up. So at the moment I've got, so the positive comes through to here. It's a 200 amp. I do have a 250 amp circuit breaker on the way. I've read that you should use bolt down fuses, and if this trips, I'll definitely go to one of those. For now, I had this, and so I just thought I'd use it. Do as I say, not as I do. Down here, I've got my 240 volt charger, so that just plugs into that socket there. So it's going to be within this little built here, this little built area here. I moved, this is my breakaway. That was here, so I've moved that over to here. The plan is the inverter will actually go across here. Right. So I digress. So positive 200, soon to be 250 amp breaker around here. I do have a switch so I can turn the power on and off, so I can disconnect the battery system if I want to power anything here. So out of that into this positive bus bar. Now the positive bus bar I've got coming off this, I've got I've got my positive, like another positive bus bar with all the fuses here, and the negative ones down here. It's coming off here. I have the solar. That's the new DCDC charger. So down here I've got solar will be coming through here. This is a switch so I can turn the solar off again if I want to work on any of this. Before when I wanted to work on this stuff, it was often still live and active, and I really don't want to do that. There was sparks, and look, it's better off to do it this way. That way I can isolate the batteries, I can isolate the solar, so everything should be good. DCDC charger comes through, back to the positive, back to the battery. This is the iTechWorld battery monitor, so that feeds information up to the screen, which I've got up there, so I can keep track on my batteries here. I do have a 40 amp fuse here for the output on the DC charger. I've heard mixed things about whether or not you actually need that, so look, it's there. No harm, really. This is the alternator. I do need to connect it up. At the moment, it is just, if you can see there, the cables are popped out, and I've got the other connection here. So I just need to put a red Anderson plug on the back of those, and then that one's ready to go. Over here is my old solar connection, so I need to extend that and come. I was going to go through here, it's just too tight, and it just pulls this off. So I'll probably just cut this down just to give the cables a nice dip over there, and they'll connect up over there. Well, I think I've covered everything. With the inverter over here, this is the cable that I mentioned in the last one that I couldn't reach, that wouldn't reach, because I had the inverter way over here, it would not reach. So the inverter going over here, making it nice and close. So I'm not sure how much you can see from up there. This is pretty much done. What I'm doing now is, this is the last negative connection that's going to come from this negative terminal here through this hole, and on this side I've got the battery shunt. So all the negatives go through the shunt, then back to the battery, and that should be it for today. With these cables, they will have a natural curl on them. You just saw then. To make it easy for yourself, try and don't fight it, because the cable will win. So as easy as that. Now on this side, helps when you have the right tools. So the terminal in there, nice and tight, which is what you want. Come on, there we go. So this is the last part to complete my connection. Put this on, and then I'll try and move some of these cables around a bit and see if I can make them fit a little bit better, because this one here is a little bit too messy for my liking. There we go. That's not too bad there. Alright, so I believe that's it done. So if anyone knows a better way to connect this to here, let me know. There doesn't appear to be any way for me to mount it. I tried liquid nails on the back, and I made my little homemade bracket, but it does not seem to work. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know down below. So I have to wait and see with that connection. The rest of it looks pretty good. I guess. I guess here's the moment of truth. That's a good start. So power's coming back on. I'm not sure why my iTech world is not. Try to plug the right cable. Yep. I bet that'll be why. So these fuses here are really annoying. They just don't seem to want to go in properly, no matter how hard I push. As you can see there, I really don't know what's happening there. So that, nope, I was going to say that should be good there. Is this fuse blown maybe? Nope, can still see really good clear view of that. Are we good? I think we're good. Alright. Yay! I'm not sure why we're losing half an amp consistently, but apart from that, this looks good. Now just connect up my 240 volt charger, which should already be done, and before I go, I thought I'd just show you through, take you through what I've used here to do this. Now, if you're a professional electrician, of course, you're going to have good quality tools that you could tax deductible, or your boss may have got you, whatever. For people like me and others who just want to do this DIY, look, most of my stuff, honestly, like my wire strips here, as you can see, Amazon Basics. I can't remember how much they were. I got most of this stuff during the Prime sale. Look, these things here, absolutely excellent for the for your DC cables. Mentioned before the 2AG cables, yeah, obviously these are no good, but for most of your solar stuff, so your 8WGs, these are incredible and they make things so much quicker. Also, those do crimp, but again, Amazon Basics, set of ratcheting crimps makes life so much easier when putting all your crimps, putting all the crimps on. Apart from that, just a drill, and I've got that changed over to a hole saw bit, and I think that was about it really. Oh, of course, light, I've got my heat shrink there, so you need some sort of heat for that. Yeah, look, if there's any questions, I might do a little bit of an update once I get the inverter installed over here. Fingers crossed that arrives Monday this week. This has been filmed on Sunday, so fingers crossed only a couple of days and I'll get that ready. I really wanted to just at least get the 240-volt charger connected up so the batteries can start to get charged, because since that last episode I filmed, there's really been no charging taking place on these batteries, and yeah, just want to make sure that they're up to scratch all the time. Yeah, look, I'll leave a link in the description for the tools such as these, in case you want to go find them. They're just a nice bit of easy, cheap bit of gear, and hey, they do the job. Look, if you want to catch any more, hopefully, if you want to know any more information about any of the stuff that I've done here, any of the wiring, any of the choices I've made, if you have any suggestions, this isn't my profession, this is not a trade, so I may definitely have made a mistake. If you see something that I've done incorrectly, or you have any suggestions, please drop a message down below, drop a comment down below, or message me. I'm on across all the socials, the White Nomads. Yeah, I'd love to know. So yeah, if you have any questions and you want to know what I've done, why I've done it, again, just message down below and I'll get back to you, and if I get enough people, I might make a video on it, a deeper dive of how and why I've done all this. Alright, so guys, thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Before you go, would love if you could press the like, subscribe and the bell notification. It really helps the channel grow, and I will catch you guys in the next one.